or not like a movement they would black out of the media. That makes a lot of sense. Champaign-Urbana, a zine workshop on Sunday, October 9th, assembling to distribute around town. Champaign-Urbana Indie Media is really cool, by the way. They're great. Revolution USA, can we get a website with live streams from all the protests? Yeah, that needs to be compiled. That's one of the things I try to work on, and I always get sidetracked, which sucks. Are people getting arrested for wearing scarves? I don't know if that'll fly in Minnesota. That would suck. Facebook and Twitter always black things out, and that's one of the main reasons why IRC and Indie Media IRC, which is at irc.indiemedia.org, I think is a better fallback. I trust them more than I trust Facebook and Twitter. The Indie Media IRC people are wonderful, and they're just super legit. It's never too late to join media teams. Just the media teams channel is on IRC, and that's open to all comers. Thank you, Florida Mom, for that info. And it's just, instead of Occupy Wall Street channel, it's the media teams channel. And I think that's very helpful. So, let's see. Yeah, I mean, blankets would be good, I think. I'm just not really a person to know these things. Rhineland wants to know if something violent should be committed, and I don't think that's a good idea, man.
Always a terrible idea.
Violence is always a terrible idea, and it just is not good, you know? Can I post your links on my website, Techno Rust? Sure. Rhonda, Canada. I'm a web developer with 16 years experience. Can I help? I'm not sure exactly. That's a good question. Autumn Smith. Okay, go to chat.indiemedia.org. That's the web interface, not irc.indiemedia.org. So, okay. Yeah, I don't even want to. Is Firewire the best way? Asked the elbow from the sky. One thing I learned this summer actually is that Firewire actually has audio sync issues, believe it or not, and like technically, if you really want to have it perfect, you have to run an audio cable and the Firewire cable. But you know, it's kind of funny. So
800 versus 400?
I don't know. 800 versus 400. Why don't people check out the difference? Eric Hendrickson, how about pirate radio? Well, this is the thing. Prometheus Radio pushed for low-power FCC licenses, so I think we all need to look at FCC licenses that are like, I think at least 50 watts. It would be epic if we had really good, legit licenses. Yeah, no, we do need more aggregator pages. It's a huge pain in the ass. Slim Booter, the Logitech Webcam 9000 is amazing. Check it out. I think that would be great. AJN0592. Can I get a copy of those posters to post at the U of M? These are the wonderful posters that people have made, which are great looking. And I thought this is good at a distance, and these quarter sheets have a real good, like, kind of gritty sort of feel going on. And I'm hoping that those are on occupyamn.org. They should be. And I know that they were looking to reach out to college students, so AJN0592, I think there should be some kind of way to get outreach going at the U, and I think it'll work out well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We use Logitech C910.
We use Logitech C910?
Yep.
Okay, I guess we're using the Logitech C910, which is news to me. Again, I need to compile this info. I'm sorry I don't have it at my fingertips, because I'm not out there in the field. Okay. The revolution needs a color. We should make it green. I am not even going to get in the subject about color revolutions. Geometric, what do we think about InfoWars talking smack? I'm hoping to get into figuring that out tomorrow, so maybe you should turn into Alex Jones. If I manage to get in on that stuff, I'll try to give you guys a flag. Have I been interviewed by the Stimulator? I have talked with the Stimulator, but I feel like I don't have enough to say to him at the moment. But he's a great person. We've hung out with him, and he's always awesome. We use some guy at 112. Look at a 3G or preferably 4G, card to push it up there, to the internet, and that will be hopefully a solid enough way to do this. But roughly speaking, that's the formula. And if necessary, you can also use apps that that go to Ustream or Quick.com, QIK.com, and that's basically how it works. Tyrannosaurus heard there was a press conference today. Is that true? Yes, we did live stream from the press conference, but something was wrong with our recording, and we missed recording the first few minutes of it, and maybe somebody live captured that. Please stream to Justin.tv. I don't even quite know what the deal is with Justin.tv, but I think that's good. That would be good. Disaster Girl, is it naive to think that we could, as Americans, vote on issues instead of electing people to decide for us? I think if you look at the history of California, their mandate system, proposition system, has actually caused a lot of problems because there's a lot of things that sound good as phrases that don't actually make good state policies. But at the same time, if we could reach things with consensus in smaller groups and decentralize power downwards, I think that would be probably not a bad way to live. Crowd, cell internet is expensive here in Canada. Any other good ways? If you can set up a mesh router, like if you have a friendly business that's a ways away, and you can run a router between the outside of that business and another middle point and then another point, then you can have grounded internet, and that's totally feasible because you can reprogram routers to work as mesh routers. Do we have communications issues? Yeah, we do. Everybody's on the run, and a lot of different people are coming and going. Are there other live streams of a different non-technical nature right now? I'm not sure, and I'll try to wrap things up because it's actually been half an hour. So I don't want to go on too much longer. Okay. Feronius is, I don't know where Feronius is, but you can try to reach him on IRC. He's around. I don't know what the mood is in New York, man. I'm in Minnesota. I think the mood's probably good. We should use Skype to have some conversations, and sometimes we do use Skype. Skype is within the realm of possibility. And Skype works on mobile phones. So I wish we did a better job patching through Skype calls, like live reports on the ground. We did a decent job of that during the G20 because there was sort of Rust Belt Radio, Pittsburgh Indie Media. I love those guys, and they were great at doing that. That's okay, Glitchy. But the part where it says Minneapolis at the bottom is the way I'm trying to avert New York questions if I can. Where does Wall Street stand with Brother Gaddafi? Man, I don't know, but personally, I think NATO is a pretty scary organization. They are clearly a resource European aggression American thing, and it's bad news. That's my opinion. I don't know what time on Alex Jones. I'm going to try to get in on it earlier tomorrow. I'm going to take a shot at it, see what I can do. We have some ins with the crew, and I think they're just a little confused, but, you know. Do I have Skype? Yeah. I need to rearrange it a little bit. Are we still using Dell 1525s for mobile? I think so. They're still cheap. Yeah, no, Luther77. I'm not too worried about off-the-wall interviews with anybody. I was on Alex Jones before after the G20, and it was a little bit like trying to throw darts at a moving train, but I can hang with that. I can ramble with the best of them. Houndish, do you need volunteers to edit and compile video? I mean, yeah, we do, and we are trying to have that happen in the channel Wall Street Clips, but it hasn't been too successful of an effort yet. So I am hoping Wall Street Clips as an IRC channel can keep it rolling. Fanatic, what do I plan on discussing with So I'm really curious about that, and I feel like we could maybe lay some things out. And also, he thinks that people don't understand that the Federal Reserve is a problem, and I think that they do. And I'm very anti-Federal Reserve myself, so so I feel the need to try to engage on that kind of stuff, and it's always fun. What about children in this whole equation? I don't know. I think things are usually pretty family friendly. You know, channels. Okay, try explaining IRC more slowly. That's a worthy topic. And what channels? Okay, so IRC is all right. No, we do not have a central YouTube account. Okay, yes, Occupy Wall Street or occupywallst.org is in fact a great place to compile information for the central main occupation and its needs, and I don't even look at that site as closely as I should. Okay. Oh my. Okay. Well, the language is not family friendly on the clips. Well, if you can't, I mean, George Carlin for all eternity deserves to drop as many of the 7 magic words as he can, and like I can't give any ground on that. That's just me. But it creates a jarring contrast between horrible normal broadcast television and what we're trying to do in a very quick way, and I think a way that's entertaining. So, okay, IRC. Let's get to that quickly. Okay, so essentially, IRC is one of the original systems of the internet, old school, and this is our IRC information card. So let me just show you how that is. So basically, if you can get on IRC, it's at irc.indiemedia.org, and if you just go to chat.indiemedia.org and then !chans equals Occupy Wall Street, that's how you can get in on the web interface. There's a couple other web interfaces to IRC chat, but I don't know how much to trust them. And then you said a nickname was /Nick. Yeah, OTN. Yeah, OTN. I'm going to try to get in on the Alex Jones show, just because I feel like, you know, pushing back on the info war, man. I talked to my truther buddies earlier tonight, and they seem to kind of get the gist of what's going on, so hopefully we can get that straightened out a little better. Okay. Alright, yeah, so essentially IRC, we're just trying to straighten out different channels for IRC, that have different functions. John Q. Public, why is there so much censorship in this people's movement? Okay, I will resolve that. Alright, I mean, essentially a lot of people try to advocate violence, drugs, and other things. It's like whenever you permit a message to be posted in a forum that advocates, you know, imminent illegal stuff and things, you have some legal protection under like current statutes, right? But whenever anything is in there, the police, the feds, who are watching me and you all right now, probably pretty closely, can use that as a legal predicate to go after people. And I know from very near experience how they will stretch and exaggerate and make really ridiculous inferences about those things to go after people. So it's a very serious issue that we have to take seriously, and we have to try to keep the live stream chats as well as the main Occupy Wall Street chat as functionally useful for people that are on the ground as possible. And so whenever people start talking about political candidates or the ever popular zeitgeist, well, zeitgeist isn't super conflict ridden, but you know, it usually doesn't bear on to what's exactly on the ground, and that's a real problem when we're trying to have a chat running. And frankly, if you're concerned about what the line between censorship and moderation, as anybody should be, and I really hate thinking about it because I appreciate that problem, believe me, I do. It's just, there are so many technical limitations to how these systems work, and we have so many malicious actors that are constantly coming at us with spam links and viruses and all of that stuff. And so it's a really difficult thing to try to manage in a way, because if we didn't do anything, y'all would be getting virus links wall to wall, and I'm sorry, that would suck. Okay? There were a few dogs at the thing tonight. So, yeah, Lori Dobson, man. Well, the initial thing was going to be at the Federal Reserve, but now it's been moved to the Government Plaza here in Minneapolis. So, again, none of this is like my decision. I'm not like close to it or involved, but the Federal Reserve is not lost on anybody, and people are making this assumption that this is all a cover-up to benefit the Federal Reserve, and that doesn't make any sense. Because it's not lost on people. So I think the end the Fedders got the point across to the world. And they're continuing to, as they should, right? But it hasn't been lost, okay? So have some faith with that, I think. Okay, well, I'm glad you guys are happy to talk to me. That's cool. I love you guys too. It's pretty exciting to have these interactions. Okay, JIRC. I don't know. I don't even know what JIRC is. Okay, OTN. Well, here's the thing, right? And this is maybe what these Alex Jones people, if they want to occupy the Fed, those are like parcels of land that are controlled by whatever shadow entity is like the Federal Reserve's land holding entity. And that's not as easy to get permission to be on as a state government or local government property. And that's actually pretty important about this. I don't know if other people have goals to end the Federal Reserve at different occupations, but, you know, the idea of the Fed is not lost. Let me put it that way. Do I know who Derek Jensen is, Hong Kong, says Goat Girl? Yes, I watched, I am aware of Derek Jensen, and Stimulator's movie End Civ, which we should probably put on the channel, because that is free, is, like anything, not a perfect work. I'm not an anarcho-primitivist myself, but it's a strain that's out there. I think that, you know, Derek wants to Skype in. Oh my, that would be exciting. It would be cool to have Derek Jensen stop in. That would be fun. I'm sure he has a lot of fun stuff to say. I don't agree with everything he says, but I think some of his literature might be nearby. Sir Global, a freshman in high school, loving this movement. Great. That's great to hear from you. Okay. Well, guys, yeah, I think I've gone on for, it's 38 minutes right now. So, how about if we don't have, I will try to check into JIRC. Okay, Meerkat. JIRC is a Java-based IRC client, they think. Okay. And thank you, MeIO442. Who is Hong? Yeah, I am basically someone who, I'm friends with the guys that, you know, run the live stream stuff in New York, and I agreed on the very first night of all this to, or the night before, to help out with the live streaming, and so I'm one of the remote production team crew that has been editing, or rather, you know, keeping the stream aligned and running all day long. So, okay, anyway, yeah, so if people just want to maybe check in quickly, I will, let's have some check-ins to see where people are watching from, and we'll check it out. Ooh, Jersey, Trenton, October 7th, same day as Minnesota. That's cool. Yeah, I don't trust GoDaddy. Evansville, Indianapolis, Akron, New Hampshire, Toronto, Michigan, Portland, Switzerland. Get off the computer, hit the streets. Missouri, New Hampshire. I'm using a Canon HV20. Durham, South Florida, Oregon, Denver, Portland, Richmond, Sacramento, Minneapolis, St. Louis, Tennessee, Chicago, more Sacramento, Minneapolis, play some Pong, Venice, Florida, California, Ohio, Ireland, New Jersey, Seattle, Colorado, New York City, Chicago, San Antonio, Poland, Maine, Lafayette, Atlanta, Newport News, Chicago, Wilmington, Washington State, Chile, Texas, Boston, North Carolina, Earth, Canada, Australia, Texas, New York, New Mexico, New Hampshire, Rutherford, North Carolina, Germany, Hamburg, Reno, Hollywood, Reno 911, Edmonton, Humboldt, Brooklyn, Santa Cruz, New Mexico, Florida, Milwaukee, South Jersey, Columbia, South Carolina, Middle East, Egypt,
wow.
Buffalo, Santa Cruz, Rochester, my living room, the whole friggin' planet, Kennebunkport, the North American Fall Revolution, Cocoa Beach, Florida, Ontario, Cali. Oh my goodness. Derek Jensen would do interviews. Libya. All right, what's up, Libya? Hawaii, Mars, work. Dominican Republic, Connecticut, Lansing, Michigan, New Hampshire, Santo Domingo, Egypt, Santa Cruz, Houston, Texas, Land Down Under, Akron, Ohio, Mars, Brisbane, Israel. Hi, Middle East. Grand Rapids, Orlando, Boston, Venus, Austin, People's Republic of Brooklyn, Madison, South Beach, Phoenix, Salt Lake City, Wisconsin. Yeah, dude, I grew up in Hudson, Wisconsin, Western Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Pluto. We have like half the solar system. Occupy, LNN, Olympic Peninsula, Death Star, Queens, Victoria, Canada, Birmingham, more Occupy, LNN, Chicago, Death Star, Big Bear, California, out my window, Boise, Idaho, Monterey. Oh, wow. Austin, Occupy the Federal Reserve, Roanoke, Virginia. Say what up to the intelligence dudes. They might get their budget cut. Uh-oh. Kentucky, Norman, Oklahoma. Gaffney. Behind you. being dubious. Woodstock, New York. Upstate New York. Tuscany. Uranus. Somebody's in their own pants right now. Grandma's basement, Cleveland, etc. On a horse. Spring Valley, Wisconsin.
Principality of Sealand.
Principality of Sealand. Tacoma, Washington. Please stop. Okay, that's a good enough. Staten Island. All right. People's Republic of Urbana. Dirty Nashville. Bankster occupied Buffalo. Scotland. Nashville. I highly question that. I trust whoever said they're on Mars. Pigeon is also a good application for chat stuff. I think it has IRC. And I think Adium on Mac actually has IRC too. Atlantis, that's good. Fanatic, my personal thoughts is that I am like happy and enthralled that something so cool has spawned in such a random way that is so persuasive to everybody. And that is so cool that it's hard for people to believe it could be that awesome. Okay, Staten Island, what? Maryland, a van down by the river, on a boat, a motherfucking boat. Unheard. Well, I love... Okay, guys. Well, look, I'll leave it there. Okay, free IRC clients. Yeah.